Hey there, hi there, and hello, my fellow entrepreneurs from around the world. I hope today finds you safe and well. In today's video, I am talking to you about sales techniques for introverts, and I'm going to be talking a bit about the sales techniques and a little bit about the scripting for these kinds of one-on-one calls is what we're talking about. And for anybody who is a coach, consultant, or service provider where you need clients and you need to get on a call with them where either you guys are both working out if you're a good fit to work together and what that could look like and all of that sort of stuff moving forward, then those calls I know can be the hardest, especially if you're an introvert. I know how hard that can be. I myself am an introvert. I mean, I fall in the middle, but I can tell you that I grew up as an introvert and that when the stress and pressure is on, I just want to hide from the world and I need to disconnect from the world in order to recharge my batteries. So definitely an introvert, even though I can do some of this extroverted stuff, and I've gotten into the habit and I quite enjoy doing some extroverted things like doing live videos or videos, that kind of thing. But even then you're really just alone in a room with a camera. So it's quite comfortable for me as an introvert. But still, I know that these calls can be really hard for fellow introverts like myself. And what I wanted to say to you before we dive into all of the good stuff that I'm going to be talking you through today to show you the techniques and to get prepared both sort of in the outside world and up here, guys, is that I want to tell you that as an introvert, you have strengths and unique skills that make you better at this stuff than extroverts. Right? I'm going to say that again. You have strengths as an introvert that make you better at doing these sales calls than extroverts. And that major skill is the ability to listen. Because actually when it comes to doing any kind of sales call, it's not about you talking about yourself. It's about asking questions and hearing from them as to what they're going through and what they want to achieve and all of that. So what I wanted to say is, don't discount yourself. Realize that you are a strong individual and that you can do this before we dive in. Let me just quickly introduce myself for anybody who doesn't already know me. My name is Tiffany and I'm from Tiffany G Studios and I am a client attraction specialist. I help coaches, consultants and service providers to stop stressing about finding clients and instead learn to attract them to you, so you can easily make money by being yourself. What we're going into today is all the kinds of stuff that I help my clients with in a one-on-one capacity and that I will be helping people with in a membership capacity as well. But I just want you to know that even though I'm going through a lot of stuff with you today, there's more to the how to do this kind of stuff. And obviously I can't do all that in a quick 10-15 minute video. But if you are looking for more, know that you can get in touch with me and we can work together to break this stuff down for you, to get you to a situation where you don't stress about these calls, you don't find yourself procrastinating from even doing the things that will attract more people to you to book these calls, and you'll actually be booking clients and increasing your income, and then maybe you'll be in a situation where you can easily quit that your maybe full-time job or part-time job, or stop dipping into your savings in order to build this business. So, whoops, I hit the microphone wire. Hopefully that didn't cause too much noise. So let's dive in, shall we? And talk about the techniques for the call. And the first technique is to be prepared. And what I want to say about this is that half of your job for this call happens before you even get on the call with someone, okay? So what I mean by this is that, number one, we have a script of questions that are already prepared and even a script of what we're going to say exactly and be able to practice that. Okay, I'm going to get into a bit more of what those questions look like, etc. when I get to that point, but just know that we have that script already. We don't get on the call blindly. The second thing is that you need to do your research about this person before you get on a call. There is nothing worse than the times where I've booked a call with someone to work with them and I've been their client, right? And they didn't even take the time to look at my website or find out anything about my business, which, if you're spending a lot of money with someone, certainly sours the relationship and gets you off on the wrong foot. And really, if I know that there's a whole lot of personality types when it comes to the world, right? But for myself, I feel that much more calm and confident if I have my research done and I know who I'm dealing with and I have an idea about, okay, here's how I might approach talking about certain elements, and I can work that through. I do want to say don't overthink it though, but at least have some of those things worked out and researched. And a big part of that research process is getting somebody to fill out a form before they even get on the call with you. So if you're in a business to business situation like me, you can ask questions in that form, 5 or 10 max, so somewhere between 5 and 10, max of 10. You can ask questions in that form, obviously get the name and the email address out of the way, but things about their business, get them to send you links of their website, etc., all that kind of thing, so that you know what's going on. And then if you're not dealing with other businesses, but say you are like a health coach or some other kind of consultant where you are dealing with people who don't have businesses, you can ask the key questions to know like what it is that's caused them to book you or to book this call, and some of those things like that. So this is all part of being prepared, and I can get you, if you're interested, get in touch and I will get you through a list of those questions that you might want to ask. So we're prepared before the call. Like I said before, there's a descriptive questions that you want to create, and those questions focus on them. It's not about you talking about yourself. And I don't know about you, but that takes the pressure off me as an introvert, not having to talk about myself. Focusing on the other person and their problems and what they're going through, and making sure that they understand the things that they've been trying to do and what's not working for them, understanding where they want to get to, and then those questions walk them through that process. So they understand the pain, they understand maybe how many years they've been struggling and things they've tried that didn't work, and where they want to get to and that kind of thing. And then you can come in and then talk about your package of, okay, how we're going to work you through from your current situation through to a certain future that might be, a desired future. And I'm not talking the whole thing. Like, for example, in the online business thing, part of what people desire is the full freedom and the being able to live on the beach and all that kind of stuff. If you're working with someone for 12 weeks in your package, you might not be able to get them all the way there, but you might get them a couple of steps further forward towards that desired future. And that's what you can talk about. Okay, here we're going to get you to here, and we're going to work together for this amount of time, and that kind of thing. And you need to go through that process. You need to be able to show them the transformation. Okay, you're taking them from something and to something. The transformation is what they're paying for. And you need to be able to show results that you've gotten for other people. So you might have a couple of key client stories of clients who are similar to them, which is why you need that form that people fill out. With those client stories, you can then move from a situation of showing them exactly how you can then work with them and the results that you can get them, and then you can add in your price for working with you. Now, I know this is the hardest part, the price, and being able to even just say the price. What I want you to do is practice talking about your package and the price, practice it in the mirror, and then practice closing your mouth as soon as you say the money, because it's all too easy to just jump in and say, oh, hang on, here's my price. It's maybe $3,000. But if you wanted to do something else, we could work for we could do something at like 1,500, and like all of a sudden you haven't even given them the chance to take it in and understand that that's the amount. Also, the other thing that I do, I forgot to say this, in the list of questions that people fill out beforehand, you can ascertain their budget, and you can have a budget that says, basically tells them how much they need to work with you. It's like, hey, we do this. From that situation, right, we've gone through the questions, we've talked about our package, we've said the price. You need to anticipate some objections, okay? There will be some objections and things like, okay, hey, I need to talk to my husband, I need to check my bank account, and some of these things, and have a plan for what you're going to say in return in order to then maybe work out what it is that's the sticking point, okay? Because those kinds of objections come up when they're not seeing enough value in working with you, and so then you need to go back to the questions to find out and then work through that process. And then finally, and it's not even an addendum, this is sort of like the biggest part, is you need to work on your mind. Because if you look at everything that I've talked about, if you remove all thoughts, fears, and feelings from the equation, this is a set of steps that you can go through, and it's easy enough to create, right? And from that perspective, where the problems come in is where the fears come up, and fears that were probably, you might have formed even in your subconscious from the earliest ages, somewhere, in the formative years, 6 to 8, right? Or 6 to 9 or something like that. So all of that sort of thing comes up. The things like, oh, maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe nobody will pay for me. All the other things that can come up. Sorry, I did a run through of this and I knew them before, but that I'm not good enough, maybe I'm not worth it, maybe I'm not worthy, all of these things that can come up when it comes to sales and these situations. And perhaps, and as an introvert, it can be even harder to work through these things because we haven't necessarily been in as many situations where we've had to put ourselves forward, perhaps. So we don't have as much practice, we're maybe not as good at some of this. And that's the other thing, the fear of rejection and hearing no. That's the other big part. Huge, 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 huge. You need to be okay with hearing the word no. You need to understand that it's not about you personally. You need to not take it on personally. And you need to have a bit of distance from, if they say no, they're saying no to the offer. That has nothing to do with you as a person. All these kinds of things. And it's very easy for me to say, here's what you do, this laundry list of the stuff in the mind. But it's kind of a bit more of a process to actually break it down and train the mind into this kind of stuff. And that's what I do with my clients in a one-on-one sessions, is to help break through that stuff in the mindset in order to get you to a situation where you can get on these calls and you can know that you're in a situation where you have, you're not coming up with excuses of not doing the right things in order to attract more people to want to book these calls for you and to start with, okay? Which is where I was. And then you end up in a situation where you're getting on more of these calls, you have more experience, there's a lot more people who say yes than say no. And some of that takes a bit of time and practice, and a huge part of that is the confidence and the stuff going on in here. I cannot stress that stuff enough. But these are the things that you need in terms of techniques for getting on calls when it comes to doing sales calls, especially as an introvert, okay? And this is all stuff that we're all going to go through, but as introverts, we maybe have some different ways of dealing with it and some different things that come up. And that's what I work through when I work with one-on-one clients. And if that's something that you want to know more about and get in touch with me, definitely reach out in a private message or put a comment below this video and let's get in touch. All right, well, thank you so much for listening to this video. I'll just do a very quick recap, and that is, number one, be prepared. Make sure there's a form that people fill out before they get on the call. Make sure you have a script of questions and exactly what you're going to say. Make sure you have a package that shows the transformation. Make sure you have a price. practice saying the package and the price in the mirror, and make sure you close your mouth as soon as you say the price, and then also have an idea about how to handle objections, okay? And work on your mind and know that you are absolutely worth it, and know that you are okay with hearing the word no. And that is not a rejection of you as a person. That's just a response to an offer, okay? And you can only control how many offers that you make, and the way that you make them. You can't necessarily control how many people are going to work with you. But yeah, okay, my quick recap. Thank you so much for watching this video, and that's it from me. Until next time, bye for now.